Welcome to today's podcast. I'm Ben Stockwell, and I'm fortunate to be joined by Kylie Fitzpatrick of the Saint Anselm softball team. Kylie, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you? It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome to have you on. Now, for you guys, did you just start classes this week, or have you been back for a little while?
Yeah, so we started classes this past Monday, and it's been kind of good. I've been trying to just get into it and learn my schedule, getting into a routine type thing. So it's been good though.
Good, nice to hear. For you, Saint Anselm was on campus, in the fall. How was that situation? Just being on campus and able to have, some communication with your teammates, in person, even if it was from a distance sometimes.
It was definitely awesome. The school did a great job. We started off as like little small groups type thing, and then we slowly progressed. And we were able to do full team and even like scrimmages. So that was kind of awesome. And obviously, it's always great to see your team. We always have so much fun.
Nice. Yeah, I can imagine that. Now, for you, is Saint Anselm far from where you are from, or is it a close ride?
No, it's only 45 minutes away from my hometown, so short drive.
Nice. Is that something that you were kind of looking for in your recruiting process, or just kind of work out with everything else fitting with Saint Anselm?
I honestly was looking at a couple of schools in New Jersey and like New Maine, so like those are pretty far away, but I definitely felt when I came to St. A's, the community and just that aspect of it, like just kind of felt like home for me, and it happened to be close to home, so that was fine.
Yeah. And what was that recruiting process like, for you? When did that kind of start? And, when did you really decide that this is where I want to be and where I want to, start my softball career?
So yeah, the recruiting process, it was pretty easy for me because my sister, she had already gone through it. So I started off by probably a sophomore in high school, trying to look at colleges, and my coach for my travel team also was very good about that too. So I started looking then, and I also toured schools with my sister, and I actually toured St. A's with her, and at that time I was like, oh, like it's cool, but definitely the second time when I toured by myself, that's when I knew like the school is for me type thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And kind of going to the school side of things, what's your current major right now at St. A's?
So I started off as an accounting major, and then I recently just added a natural science major because I decided after school I would like to go to med school, and I also have a minor in Spanish. So.
Wow, that's quite the variety of majors. But is there something that you've really enjoyed about your starting with your natural sciences major? Is there something you've really enjoyed about that as you've gotten into it a little?
Well, I feel like I've always been the type of person I always want to learn new things, and I kind of was just getting in like a little like routine, like it kind of just was repetitive, and I was like, I don't really like this. I've always just been that type of person that does different things every single day. So I feel like natural science, obviously, like there's so many things in the world to learn about. So I was just kind of excited, and I just recently started those classes, so I'm definitely looking forward to those.
Nice. Kind of with that, you talked about, generally you have an idea, but is that kind of the pre-med, is that kind of something that's your long-term goal now with this major?
Yeah, definitely. It took me a while to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do now. Like, obviously, I'm a third year now, so I was like, it took me a little bit, but here I am now.
They say, most college students change their major at least, I think, once or twice in here. So it's definitely not uncommon. With school, obviously taking up a lot of time with double majoring and having a successful, athletic career as well. Are you able to be involved in any clubs or organizations outside of, school and softball, or is it a lot of softball in school?
Yeah, so obviously it's a lot of softball in school, but freshman year I did get into a lot of volunteering. I started off in our Amelia Center on campus, which is the Center for Community Engagement. So I worked there as an office assistant too. So I kind of got to see like the behind the scenes type look at all the engagement on campus, which is pretty cool. And I also volunteered that year at a nursing home. But I also back home I do volunteering too. I bring elderly people to doctor's appointments. I try to get involved a lot. I mean, I also work for athletics and stuff too.
Okay. What do you do for the athletic department?
So usually they have like a bunch of the student athletes, and we help set up and take down like the game equipment and stuff for like football games or any sports team on campus.
Oh, nice. That's a very important job, and I think sometimes, I'm sure as an athlete, seeing that you appreciate it so much more at your games. But speaking of softball, kind of going back, just looking back to last March, what was that like to have, your season canceled at the, probably a third of the way through for you guys?
It definitely hurt. I definitely remember the day and like where I was like when my coach had texted me. But we were definitely one of the fortunate teams because we got to actually go to Myrtle, go to Florida, like and actually play games. And my sister was actually in Florida when this all came out too, and like she didn't finish all her games. So I was like, oh my god. I mean, I guess I'm fortunate enough to have had time to play with some of my seniors and stuff.
That's so tough. Now, obviously you had to leave campus, go home. Did it make the, kind of the adjustment of having the season stop? Did it, help at all that you did have your sister, someone else to lean on, and, kind of she had you too through that because you both were experiencing the same type of emotions?
I definitely think so. Yeah, my sister and I are pretty close. We each had our section in our house. Like this is where we're gonna Zoom, and she had hers too. So we were kind of separated, but it was definitely an adjustment because I have a lot of people in my house. Everyone working from home.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Speaking about your career now, so you come in as a freshman off a team that had, just made it to the national championship, really successful. What was that like coming into the team and, trying to find your way and, really imprint yourself on the team and find a way to contribute?
I definitely knew coming in. I was like, I need to work really hard. I was following them throughout their whole like championship run and everything, watching all the games, and I was like, wow, like this is the team I want. And I was definitely nervous freshman year meeting all the girls because I hadn't met them all fully, and I was like, well, like would they accept me type thing, and it was just amazing. They're so fun and they're just so accepting and everything. It was awesome.
And for you too, you ended up getting to play a significant amount and, really help the team in that sense, started a lot of the games towards the end of the year. What was that experience like to be a part of a conference championship?
Oh, it was amazing. I feel like it's just a dream sometimes. I'm like, wow, that actually really happened. It's crazy.
Related to that, would you say that's one of your favorite softball memories at St. A's so far? And if not, is there another one?
Oh, definitely. I know that year, we had a lot of comebacks. So I think it was our assistant coach. She deemed us the cardiac kids. And because we always gave them heart attacks, I think it was always like the sixth inning that we would start getting runs, and it was just so funny.
Now, with a team like that, there's certain energy in softball games that the bench really brings. Did you guys have any kind of comeback rituals that you would start to use or do or anything like that to kind of just set the comeback, or was it okay? We have 6 outs left. It's time to make our move.
Our team is definitely into cheering and energy, and we're kind of crazy in there in the dugout. But usually our comeback ritual is we usually have like these cups, like the Gatorade cups, and they like stick it in their helmet. Like we wear our hats backwards, stick it in our helmet. They kind of look like aliens, but works most of the time. So I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Related to that freshman year, you actually, from looking at some of the stats, it seemed like you actually got to face your sister. In one of the last games of the year. What was that experience like in a big game, big moment? You're going up against your big sister.
Yeah, I remember that the Bentley coach would put my sister in right as I was on deck, and my coach, I think there was a person on second and third, I believe. And my coach was like, oh, you're going to bunt. Like, she gave me the sign to bunt. So I guess it kind of worked out. I laid down the bunt. I got the RBI. My sister threw me out. So, and my parents were on each side of the field because they had to switch each game and everything. But it definitely worked out in that way that everyone had a win type thing. So I wasn't that nervous because I feel like I always caught from my sister growing up, and we've always been playing together. So I was like, oh, I know you. I'm gonna get a hit, but I just bunted anyway.
Yeah. For you, what do you consider your best skill as a softball player?
I feel like my hand-eye coordination is definitely really good, fielding wise, and that's definitely one of my strengths. There's always room to improve though, and definitely a lot of our girls like to do a lot of extra work, so it's awesome having them.
Nice. You talk about the field. Everyone loves to hit. Everyone loves hitting, home runs, big hits. But you seem to have done really well in the field so far. Playing second base and around the infield. What's more exciting for you? What gets you more amped up? Whether is it turning a double play or making one of those running back diving catches towards the foul line on a foul ball?
I feel like those plays that you just don't realize you're gonna get. I feel like those are the ones that really get your adrenaline running. You're like, wow, like I didn't know I could do that. So it definitely tests your ability, like in different ways that you couldn't have imagined. So,
yeah,
really
yeah, for you guys going forward, or I guess going back to this past fall, what was that experience like, getting to play against each other and getting some competitive innings in there? And also, are you glad you don't have to face Morgan on a daily basis as an opposing player?
Well, actually, she's coming back, so this semester we're definitely gonna have to face her. But it's always good though because our pitchers are very good and it makes us better. So I always enjoy that, and we're definitely a very competitive team.
Yeah, no, there's something to be said for when you have a team that's had success and everyone just kind of feeds off one another and is competitive but having fun with the competition. So I got a few quick hitters here for you. Is there a sport that you really enjoy besides softball?
Well, I grew up playing field hockey, and I did play a little basketball, but mostly in high school I did field hockey and softball. But it was definitely nice in high school to have the change of field hockey. And I mean, I still played softball throughout the whole season and stuff, but I almost played field hockey too in college, but softball, I've always played it, so.
Makes sense. Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions?
Oh my God, I am the most superstitious person. I literally, like, from the time I get dressed to when I'm approaching the field. I mean, obviously, it's just me. Like, it's probably just like a routine type thing. But if I don't do it, I'm like, oh my God, like something's gonna happen.
Do you have a routine in the batter's box or in the field as well, or is just kind of getting to the game is where the routine comes in?
I definitely on the field. I have a lot too, like superstitions. I do a lot of the same pregame drills. I have the same throwing partner and all that. So I'm a little crazy.
I think you fall in line with a lot of softball and baseball players I know, so you're probably fine there. Is there a professional athlete that you look up to or admire?
Definitely Sis Bates. I've just always admired her because she's just amazing in the field and she's someone that I strive to be.
Do you have a guilty pleasure TV show or movie that you like to watch when you just need to chill out or something?
Yeah, my all-time favorite show is definitely Friends. And I also like Grey's Anatomy and a lot of like the medical dramas, so definitely those.
Makes sense as well. What's a book you might have read in 2020 that you really enjoyed or that you found impactful?
Over the quarantine, I did get into more reading of my books because I was kind of bored. So I'm starting one now that it's called The Girl in the Blue Coat. And I've always loved history too. So it's about like World War II and how she kind of went around the black market, the goods like in the black market she wasn't supposed to sell type thing. It's kind of cool. So.
Oh, that does sound really interesting. Yeah. Do you have a favorite meal or place to eat when you're at school at St. A's or anywhere in Manchester?
Yeah, the coffee shop is definitely a hot spot for kids here on campus. My go-to is a chicken ranch wrap, but I definitely like to change it up. There's just that food there is so good.
Nice. And what about when you come back home? What's the first meal you want to have, either from someone in your family, or at a local restaurant?
I'm definitely a pretty simple eater, so my all-time favorite is probably like beef stew or meatloaf or shepherd's pie. Like I don't know. My mom makes it so good.
That makes sense. That makes sense for sure. What's something you want to accomplish in 2021?
I hope to put extra effort in anywhere I could in all aspects of my life and just improve one day at a time. And I also wish to have good health because we need it during this time. So, and everyone good health.
Finally, what's going to take for your team to have success again this spring?
I definitely feel that it will take probably a little more work because we don't have like the Florida or Myrtle trip, and that's I feel like where we usually mesh together.
Nice. And what's your favorite thing about being on the St. Anselm softball team?
I think definitely the team, because without them, like it would just be a lot harder. They're awesome. I just love everyone on the team.
All right, that's all I have for questions today. So, Kai, I want to thank you for joining me, and I really hope that you have a great semester and that we'll see you out on the field in a bit.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.